You've seen this, right? At the Momok, in the shopping mall, even at a kenduri. You see a kid, sometimes only 7 or 8 years old, totally glued to a phone, just scrolling and scrolling through TikTok. It's so common in Malaysia now that we hardly think twice about it. But the government is definitely thinking about it, and they're asking a huge question. Is it time to build a digital gate to keep our kids off social media? Let's get into it.
It's a pretty good question, isn't it? I mean, platforms like TikTok and Instagram, they already have a rule that you've got to be at least 13 to sign up. So if that rule exists, why are our primary schools full of kids who could probably teach us a thing or two about social media? It kind of seems like the gate they already have, well, it's not much of a gate at all.
And look, this isn't just something we're noticing on the street. This is a direct quote from our communications minister, Fahmi Fazal. He's seen it with his own eyes in schools. When a government minister starts talking about 7-year-olds on TikTok, you know this is shot right up to become a major national issue.
Okay, so we've established the problem. It's something we all see. Kids are getting online way younger than they're supposed to be.
And that brings us to the government's big idea, this digital gate. The plan is to create a much tougher, more effective barrier to stop underage kids from even signing up. But what exactly are the dangers that are pushing them to consider such a drastic step? Well, the threats they're looking at are really serious. We're not talking about small things here. We're talking about everything from financial scams and horrifying child exploitation to nonstop cyberbullying, exposure to all sorts of hate content, and even the non-consensual sharing of private images. These are major life-altering harms.
And these dangers aren't just a what-if scenario. This number, 4%, is actually pretty chilling. A major study found that 4% of Malaysian children who use the internet between the ages of 12 and 17 were victims of online sexual exploitation and abuse just in the last year. That could be around 100,000 kids. This isn't a potential problem, it's a very real crisis happening right now.
So, with dangers like that, building a bigger gate seems like a no-brainer, right? Well, not so fast. Human rights advocates are raising their hands and asking a crucial question. Could this gate, which is meant to protect our kids, actually end up punishing them in other ways?
And this is the real heart of the whole debate. On one side, you have this absolute need to protect children from very real harm. But on the other side, you have the fundamental rights of young people. You know, the right to express themselves, to find information, and to have some privacy. It's a classic balancing act, and it's incredibly tough to get right.
Let's just break down what's really at stake for them. For a lot of young people, social media isn't just for viral dance challenges. It's how they get information for their school projects. It's where they share their opinions and connect with others who have the same interests, especially if they feel a bit alone in their day-to-day life. A total ban could just cut them off from all of that. Not to mention, it could force them to hand over a lot of private data just to prove how old they are. Okay, so we have this really intense debate happening. Protection versus freedom. But here's where the plot twist comes in. This is the part that changes the whole conversation. What if I told you that the actual technology for this digital gate is basically broken? To get why, you just need to know this one term, age assurance. It's just a fancy way of saying how a platform checks your age. And by far the most common method, the one almost everyone uses, is called self-declaration. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. You just type in your birthday, and that's it.
This table really says it all. I mean, look at the biggest platforms out there. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. They all have one thing in common. They all rely on self-declaration. It's like a bouncer at a club asking, "You're over 18, right?" And just taking your word for it, without ever checking your IC. It's a system that's just way too easy to get around.
And hey, this isn't just our opinion. Our very own regulators, the MCMC, have said it loud and clear. Just asking a user for their age is inadequate and easily circumvented. And this is the real turning point, isn't it? The whole debate about an age ban might be a waste of time if we can't even enforce it properly.
If this breakdown is giving you a clearer picture, hit like and subscribe so you'll always stay ahead on Malaysia's biggest issues.
So, if the gate we have is broken and a simple ban might not even work, what else is there? Well, instead of just trying to lock kids out, some smarter, more creative ideas are being talked about. One of the biggest ideas is called the duty of care. Now, instead of punishing kids for getting online, this approach puts the legal responsibility squarely on the big social media companies. Think of it like this. Instead of banning kids from a playground, you make the playground owner legally responsible for building safer swings in the first place. It forces these platforms to actually design their products to be safe from the very beginning.
And, Malaysia isn't figuring this out alone. This is a huge global headache. Over in Australia, they're looking at a hard ban for anyone under 16. Singapore is putting new rules on app stores like Google and Apple. And in the EU and the UK, they're pouring money into developing new, smarter age-checking technology that's way more advanced than just asking for a birthday. Everybody is scrambling for a solution.
So, after looking at the very real dangers, the rights of our children, and the seriously flawed technology, we're left with a pretty big question.
At the end of the day, the real challenge here isn't just a philosophical debate about safety versus freedom. It's become a practical one. We need to find a solution that genuinely protects kids without accidentally punishing them. And most importantly, we need a solution that can't be beaten by just lying about a birthday. Good intentions are great, but they're not enough if the plan itself just doesn't work.
Thanks for watching. Join thousands of Malaysians who want clarity, not confusion. Tap like, hit subscribe, and let's keep making sense of this together.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. When it comes to keeping our kids safe online, whose job is it really? Is it up to the government to make more rules? Is it the tech platform's job to build safer products? Is it a parent's job to watch over their kids? Or is there a role for all of us to play in this? It's a tough one, and there are no easy answers.